At number 10, we have Whoopi Goldberg. Now, Whoopi is known for her comedic performances, however, every now and then she pushes it way too far and makes comments she just shouldn't have made. Back in 2004, Whoopi was quick to make some few wise cracks at the expense of George Bush during a Democratic fundraiser. Unfortunately, the puns didn't sit quite well with SlimFast, and the weight loss product manufacturer decided to drop Whoopi from their advertisements shortly after. In a statement, the company would say, "We at SlimFast trust the public and understand that the way in which Whoopi chose to express herself and her own personal beliefs at the recent fundraiser at Radio City Music Hall does not reflect the views and values of SlimFast." The company then went on to say they were extremely disappointed by the manner and the star chose to conduct herself, and that they would no longer be featuring her in ads on air. Whoopi's situation then would go on to highlight it's sometimes better to just leave politics to the politicians and keep your own beliefs to yourself. At number 9, we have Lil Wayne. Now, Lil Wayne learned the hard way that sometimes you have to be careful about what you rap about. Back in 2013, Lil Wayne's rhymes ended up getting him in a little bit of trouble when he stirred up some controversy with a distasteful lyric mentioning of civil rights martyr Emmett Till. The Money on My Mind rapper would then be dropped from a multi-million deal with Mountain Dew, and Mountain Dew's parent company PepsiCo would issue an official statement saying they did not plan any additional work with Lil Wayne moving forward. His offensive reference to the revered civil rights icon does not reflect the values of our brand. Lil Wayne would then come out with his own apology, which would highlight that he would refrain from making any more references about Emmett Till or the Till family in general. However, Lil Wayne's apology wouldn't fix the situation, and Mountain Dew would pull the plug officially on its relationship with the rapper. At number 8, we have Lance Armstrong. Lance was at the height of his career before he was caught cheating his way through 7 Tour de France titles. In October of 2012, an extensive report by the US Anti-Drug Doping Agency eventually found that the athlete was part of the most sophisticated, professionalized, and successful doping programs that the sport has ever seen. Now, at first, Lance did try to deny the allegations, however the report proved it was impossible to dismiss, forcing Armstrong to stand down as his chairman of a cancer charity he founded, Livestrong. And later that month, Nike would sever all its connections with him, initially after saying they would stand by the cyclist. Due to the evidence, Nike would then come out to say in a statement that they were misled by the cyclist and that it was with great sadness that they have to terminate all their contracts with him. Now, Nike did however continue to support Livestrong only because Lance decided to step down from his position at the charity. Number 7, we have Tiger Woods. While Tiger may seem to have his hands full these days with multiple endorsement deals, back in 2009, many companies would drop the golf legend after he went public about his marriage infidelity. Tiger would lose deals with Gatorade, AT&T, and Gillette. A representative from Gatorade would come out to say that they were ending their relationship with the golfer as they no longer saw a role for Tiger in their marketing efforts. The spokeswoman then would continue to go on that they wished him the best. Now, initially, Nike and Electronic Arts would stick closely by Woods until he came forward with his public apology. At number 6, we have Kate Moss. 17 years ago, many weren't impressed with a newspaper that ran some photos of Kate and her then boyfriend displaying in some pretty outrageous behavior. The photos would cause some clothing companies such as Chanel, Burberry, H&M to drop Kate from their campaigns, and the London newspaper would begin questioning if Kate was a fit role model for teenage girls. Burberry would then later come out to say that they were deeply saddened by Kate's current circumstances and that they hope she could overcome her problems as soon as possible. Now, since the scandal, Kate seemingly cleaned up her act and has since been named the new creative director of Diet Coke. At number 5, we have Drea Michelle. American media personality Drea Michelle lost her endorsement deal with lingerie company Savage X Fenty after she decided to make a joke about women's violence after referencing a situation that occurred with rappers Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Now, the joke wouldn't sit well with others, and she would go on to say she was there for what happened. Almost immediately, comments started to call out Drea for being so insensitive towards the situation that occurred. Drea tried tried to make light of a situation, and the joke definitely didn't sit well with others, including Rihanna, who would then soon drop Drea from their endorsement. Now, Drea hopes one day she can get her endorsement back by the end of 2022, but I highly doubt that will ever happen. At number 4, we have Abby Lee Miller. Now, Abby Lee Miller has done some pretty outrageous things. The outspoken dance teacher in the hit show Dance Moms really made us question if we ever wanted to be dancers, or it made us pursue the idea of becoming one so we could one day train at her studio. However, Abby found herself in some pretty hot water when she was called out by a former dance mom, Adriana Smith. Now, Adriana has claimed that Abby made a number of racist remarks against her daughter, Cameron, while she trained with Abby at Abby's studio. The situation came to light when Abby posted to her Instagram with a post on Blackout Tuesday to support Black Lives Matter and its movement. As a result, Adriana came forward with the allegations, and Lifetime ultimately decided to cancel Abby's new series, Abby's Virtual Dance-Off. At number 3, we have Chrissy Teigen. So Target decided to pull all of Chrissy Teigen's cookware line off the shelf after the star received backlash for cyberbullying singer and reality TV actress Courtney Stodden. The popular retailer decided to ultimately that they would no longer be carrying her line of cookware and cooking accessories. Chrissy would issue an apology, but Target no longer wanted anything to do with Chrissy as it didn't support the past tweets the star made about Courtney. However, it wouldn't be the only deal Chrissy would lose out on, as just hours after news broke, Bloomingdale's was just hours away from signing a contract with the cookbook author, however pulled out due to the toxic press. At number 2, we have Lea Michele. When the star came under fire for making her former Glee co-star Samantha Ware feel like she was living in hell while the two worked together on the show, Samantha would come out to accuse Lea of making a number of traumatic microaggressions towards her on set. And at one point, it even made Samantha question what kind of career she would have in Hollywood. By the time Lea came out to apologize for the issue, it would be too late for the star as she would already lose her endorsement deal with HelloFresh, a meal kit company. On top of that, many other co-stars came forward with their own stories about how the actor acted on set with them. HelloFresh would then come out to say in a tweet that they do not condone racism or discrimination of any kind, and that they were extremely disappointed to learn about the recent claims made against Lea. They also stated that they took these allegations extremely seriously and that they were ending their partnership with Lea immediately. At number 1, to no surprise today, we have Kanye West. Due to Kanye West's outrageous anti-Semitism and WLM controversies, Kanye has officially lost his billionaire status. Forbes made it official Tuesday by saying that the star had lost his billionaire status in wake of Adidas ending their partnership with the rapper. Adidas then came out to say that they do not tolerate anti-Semitism and any sort of hate speech. The company then highlighted that Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, dangerous, and they violated the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. Just hours later, Gap and Foot Locker would remove Yeezy products from its stores, as both companies have stated that they do not support any type of racism, and Kanye's recent actions have been inexcusable. In addition, major talent agency CAA has dropped West as a client, and Studio MRC has said it will no longer air Kanye's completed documentary. Record label Def Jams has also said they will no longer be working with Kanye moving forward. Even luxury fashion house Balenciaga has closed its ties with West and have said that they no longer have a relationship nor plans for the future for projects with Kanye. And just like that, Kanye West has officially been cancelled. At number 10, we have Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga recently went viral across social media with a fake boomerang, and fans have been pretty confused, and majority of them have been roasting the celebrity hard over it. In a video, Gaga could be seen holding a piece of product from her brand while she was tucking her hair behind her ear, trying to mimic a boomerang effect. In the video, Gaga would also tell her fans to sign up early and gain 20% off of her House Lab products. Now, fans' comments have definitely been hilarious to read, with one fan saying she really put "I'ma put the boomer" in boomerang, and another fan would add that Gaga had actually done this on purpose to go viral with the advertisement. Given it wasn't the first time she's made a similar post, they would also note that she's a marketing genius, and they were definitely right about that. At number 9, we have Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown has finally decided to respond to the backlash she received after posting a video that showed her faking her skincare routine. After a video was posted on Millie's page back in 2019 of her demonstrating how she uses her vegan skincare line for teenage girls, Florence by Mills, comments immediately began to criticize the actor for pretending to use products such as her face mist, scrub, wash, and moisturizer. Fans were quick to call out the star for not using any of her products on her face, and some even noted she was still wearing makeup at the end of the video. Millie would later delete the video and would replace it with a note behind the process of her decision. Millie would go on to say, "I'm still learning the best way to share my routines as I get to know this space better. I thought doing a quick video of my replication of my personal process for the night was okay, but that's not how it was conveyed. However, if you hadn't had a chance to try her products yet, run out and grab some because it's pretty affordable and amazing." Hey Peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. At number 8, we have Amber Heard. Okay, so Amber Heard never lied about using her own brand for promotion. However, she is still worth mentioning because she tried to lie about using Milani Cosmetics to win a court case. And Milani even called her out for her lies. During Johnny's and Amber's trial, Amber would claim that she would use Milani Cosmetics all-in-one correcting kit to cover up bruises. The only problem with her claims is that Milani's all-in-one correcting kit didn't launch until 2017. Milani would even post a TikTok video that the product wasn't even available before 2017 and highlighted that the actress was using it from 2012 to 2016. Now, Amber's attorney did not specifically name Milani Cosmetics in court, however they did hold up the kit and said Amber carried this exact one every day. At number 7, we have Addison Rae. Addison Rae was accused of trying to scam fans after launching a face mist that protects skin from blue light damage, just months after another influencer had to cancel a similar product due to backlash. Addison Rae would then release her own version and would say that her product was designed to guard and relieve the skin from blue light that comes from cell phones, computers, and TVs. Many were quick to say that Addison's product is a scam because there is still very limited evidence to prove that blue light is even harmful to skin in the first place. Most health concerns regarding overexposure to blue light relates to eye strain and vision problems, not skin. So the TikTok star should have opted to create her own line of blue light glasses rather than a product to scam her fans into thinking blue light actually damages our skin. At number 6, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez was smart when she created her makeup line, but she failed to mention that you physically can't use her products with other products. So unless you're going to buy her whole line of eyeshadows, foundations, concealers, blush, bronzer, you won't be able to do a full face because everything is going to fall right off your face due to her formula. Since Selena Gomez's line, Rare Beauty, is a water-based formula, unless you're using a similar water-based formula, you're definitely going to have some problems getting your makeup to stay all day with a flawless appearance. So with her claiming that her product really holds up and stays all day, the statement's only partially true because in order for it to hold up all day, you have to purchase the whole line, and that's a hefty amount of money to splurge on all at once. However, with Rare Beauty using their resources to support mental health and bring mental health services to an educational setting, it's a brand we seriously can't help but support, as the products do what they claim and their impact is truly beautiful. At number 5, Rihanna. Rihanna's line, Savage X Fenty, has drawn in millions in investment funding because it has been lauded for its inclusive sizing and diverse marketing. However, Rihanna's company deceptively promotes discounts and prices that are only available to consumers who are part of the company's membership program, without clearly disclosing the fact when marketing the discount. When consumers flock to the site for the deals, they are automatically enrolled by the company into an extra VIP membership. And the company doesn't clearly disclose the terms and conditions, like needing to take affirmative action every month to avoid reoccurring charges. And some of these items listed on the site are already defaulted to VIP pricing, and they don't give an option to purchase it at a regular price. So if you add one of these to your baskets, you're automatically being added to Savage X monthly membership plan. And the only way of knowing the membership will result in more charges is by clicking the small Learn More button, which will let you know you will be charged a minimum of $49.95 a month. So always read the small print. And number 4, Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian's clothing company Good American has been getting some ridicule on Instagram after some followers have accused the star of photoshopping images to make her products seem better than they actually are. When the reality TV star posted a photo on her Instagram lying on a mirrored floor, gazing at the camera, she would sport a pair of shape-enhancing skinny jeans. However, the page's followers quickly called her out because they forgot to Photoshop her reflection to match what they edited outside. Fans were quick to point out that they loved Khloe, but who is that? It just didn't look like her. And Good America, Khloe Kardashian, why are y'all doing homegirl like that? At least Photoshop her shadow. Goodness. The photo definitely ran in contrast to Good American's brand identity, as the company was designed for a curvier, stronger shape, but fans pointed out that how is your brand supposed to promote embracing yourself when they're caught photoshopping their advertisements? The lies were definitely real in this post, and it's definitely something we all didn't see coming, and we definitely won't be purchasing anything from this brand anytime soon. Number 3, we have Shay Mitchell. Shay Mitchell was slammed by her fans for making a makeup remover ad. In an obviously staged Snapchat video, the actress and Biore ambassador posted a video to promote the beauty brand's makeup remover. In the video, Shay would begin the clip by pouring the liquid onto a cotton round while saying, "I have obviously tried my fair share of makeup removers, but these are by far my favorite." She would then attempt to demonstrate the product's ability to remove waterproof makeup by swiping the pad across her own eyes. However, when she proudly showed off the cotton round afterwards, her eyeshadow and mascara were perfectly intact. One user would even call out Shay by saying, "She ain't even rubbed her eye, I'm crying," and another would say, "Why is she reviewing a skincare product with a Snapchat filter on?" And number 2, we have Elizabeth Holmes. When the CEO of Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, lied about her blood testing machine's ability to run thousands of tests with just a single drop, a journalist would later expose Elizabeth's lie in a scathing article on her company. Before it all came crashing down, Elizabeth had won the trust of corporations such as Walgreens and world leaders. Elizabeth's company's products technology simply didn't do what the company repeatedly told investors, clients, and the media. While Elizabeth and her team said the machine could run over 200 tests, it was actually only able to run about a dozen, and they were actually using equipment that was already available on the market. Yet Elizabeth would hide this fact from investors, and she would claim that the company used their own equipment. They would then go on to fake demonstrations to strike major deals with companies such as Walgreens, and they also faked demonstrations with investors and gave misleading information about the product's clinical trials. And number 1, we have Kylie Jenner. When Kylie Jenner claimed Kylie's skincare line was vegan, evidence would emerge to prove otherwise, and her fans would shortly come to call out the star for her lies. After fans discovered some ingredients in Kylie's line came from animals, fans would begin to slam Kylie for promoting her products as vegans when her products such as her toner and face wash weren't vegan at all. In her vanilla milk toner, it contains ingredients such as squalane, which is traditionally sourced from the livers of deep-sea sharks. Although this oil can be harvested from plants as well, Kylie's ingredient list doesn't specify where the oil is from. Fans have also pointed out that her foaming face wash contain ingredients which are sourced from castor sacs of mature beavers. Also, her vitamin C serum smells like a meat stick. Which makes matters worse is Kylie didn't even respond to the claims, so this brand definitely isn't vegan, so if you're vegan, don't use it. And number 10, we have Coca-Cola. After bidding $44 billion on Twitter, Elon came to celebrate his bid by jokingly announcing that he would like to take over Coca-Cola next. Talking to his 87.1 million followers on Twitter, Elon went to say that he is keen to buy Coca-Cola next, as he would like to return the product back to its 1885 recipe. Now, it is fair to say that Elon seems to just be writing just about everything on the internet recently, and if you look at Coca-Cola and how much it would actually cost, it's most likely that Musk was joking when he said he was thinking about buying the company. Considering Coca-Cola is one of the most valuable drink companies, and it's currently valued more than $255 billion, and Elon's only worth about $209.1 billion, we won't see this purchase going through anytime soon. One Twitter user has even gone as far to make a good laugh out of it by telling Musk he's too poor to buy Coca-Cola. And I mean, it's not wrong. At number 9, we have McDonald's. In his second tweet after buying Twitter, Elon surprised everyone when he tweeted on 2 companies he would like to purchase. One of them happened to be McDonald's. He would then go on to explain that the reason for buying the company is so that he can fix all of its ice cream machines. Now, we all know McDonald's ice cream machines are the worst, and Elon would say as much as it was fun to poke fun at the company for it, however, he can't make miracles happen and fix the machines. Soon after Elon made the funny tweet, people started sharing their own companies and places they believed Elon should buy next. Now, who knows if the multi-billionaire was kidding or not? I guess we're just gonna have to see what he purchases next. Hey Peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? Then if so, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, it would really help me out. At number 8, we have Rocket Lab USA. Considering many claim to say Rocket Lab is the closest thing to SpaceX on the public market, it's easy to see why Elon Musk might want to merge with the company sometime soon in the future. If Elon could merge with the company, it would only cost him $2.6 billion, which makes the company highly profitable if you take a look at Elon's net worth. Now, Rocket Lab USA is an aerospace company which developed rocket launchers and control systems for space and defense industries. On the other hand, if you take a look at Elon's SpaceX company, you can see they design and manufacture, launch, and advance rockets and spacecrafts. So the connections between the companies could merge, and it would be a huge merge if they were to. So it's definitely something we should keep an eye on because the merger for the company is something we could see in the future. At number 7, we have Rivian Automotive. Tesla still remains the clear leader when it comes to global electric vehicles, and we probably won't see that change anytime soon. The market's Fortune and Business Insights estimates that the company could be worth up to $1.3 trillion by 2028. That's why we're seeing more startup companies entering into the electric vehicle market, a turf that Tesla was pretty much operating in with little to no competition until now. Now, Rivian Automotive Inc. is an electric vehicle startup that went public recently, and it started to produce its own electric trucks back in December 2021. Backed by an excellent business model, a direct-to-customer sales strategies, Musk could soon want to get in on the company as the Bank of America has given it a stock buy rating, and the company's values stand at $40 million alone, so it's definitely a company we might see Elon target to buy soon. At number 6, we have Clubhouse. So if you're someone who keeps up to date on all the new social media apps, then you know Clubhouse is relatively new invite-only social media app that allows users to have audio chats with each other on topics such as crypto, trading, sports, celebrities, and the list goes on. So once on the app, you can basically search topics you're interested in and join respective chats. Now it might not seem like a company Elon would be interested in. However, he and many CEOs actually already use the app, and since buying Twitter, he's been quite focused on promoting a free speech movement on social media. And by buying the app, he could allow people to push boundaries while having some pretty heated discussions. At number 5, we have Ford Motors. Elon Musk has been using digital media more recently, especially when it comes to Twitter. The star has opted to use the app because it helps him grow his personal brand and several of his businesses. And we know social media will allow him to do just that. It's no secret that this move has kept his competitors to stay afloat, and now it may come to no surprise that when Ford seemed to take a jab at Elon's workers' rights challenges with their own International Workers' Day ads, the ads would go on to say, right now, it could seem that people who matter the loudest are those who are tearing things down and flying on their personal spaceships when things get harder. From what we know, Elon definitely wasn't impressed with the comment. He could buy Ford Motors just out of spite to shut the company down. And number 4, we have quantum space. With the competition increasing in electric vehicles market, Elon Musk has definitely been working hard to make Tesla independent. When it comes to the terms of materials and suppliers, Elon's very quick and keen on buying up startups that manufacture electric vehicle parts, such as batteries. So with quantum space being in its early stage of battery tech startup that hopes to increase the range of electric vehicles and plans to have its batteries cut down on recharge times, it may seem like it would be a pretty ideal buy for Elon to purchase it, even though the company is still new and it's already worth $4.6 billion. So it would be pretty affordable and profitable if Elon was to buy it, and it would also be a smart move if he wishes to stay on top of the electric vehicle game. At number 3, we have Uber. So Musk definitely has a strong vision of getting Tesla into the ride-sharing space. He's even gone as far as saying Tesla's net worth would be the next Airbnb of ride-sharing one day. And if you know Musk, then you know that he tends to have these really big dreams. However, saying that the service is not reality yet. Elon will probably end up buying an already existing ride-sharing business like Uber or Lyft with because both apps have the necessary infrastructure and some traction already on them. And it would be easier to use them than building one from the ground up. And yes, he could definitely go with a smaller startup business, however, he's also definitely can afford to buy Uber as the market cap is only worth $46.7 billion. And the company does have a large company base, so we wouldn't have to start from scratch. And number 2, we have Facebook. Elon isn't a big fan of Facebook, probably because Mark Zuckerberg and him have been feuding for quite some time now. Their feud has even gotten to the point where Musk would like to buy every share of the company so he can become the sole owner of the social media platform. When speaking at a SpaceX and Tesla investors gathering, Elon told the group that he had some cash and Mark knows where to find him. Elon would then show investors a video of his plans to delete Facebook. His plans of deleting Facebook. Musk would then justify his actions by saying it's not a political statement, he just doesn't like Facebook because it gives him the willies. However, I think the real reason why Elon hates Facebook so much is because he's all about freedom of speech these days and expressions, and on Facebook you just can't do that. And at number 1 today we have Microsoft. If you've been following any of Elon Musk's recent rants online, then you know he has an ongoing feud with Bill Gates. Things between the two lately have even escalated to the point where Elon has accused Gates of shorting Tesla stocks, which pretty much means Bill is betting on the company's downfall. Now, in the past, Elon has tweeted insults against Bill, and now Elon's wealth is far from what he would need to even buy Microsoft in the first place. However, it wouldn't be a surprise if he did decide to buy a significant stake in the company now that Bill is not holding a majority of the shares, just to undermine the company like Bill did with Tesla.
Number 10, Miley Cyrus. On August 25th, 2013, Robin Thicke and Miley Cyrus performed together at the MTV Video Music Awards and made television history, but not in a good way. At the time, Miley was a 21-year-old Disney star hoping to break into the mainstream music industry, and 36-year-old Robin Thicke had one of the most successful singles of the summer, Blurred Lines, even though around that time it was also starting to be criticized for being lyrically problematic. But people lost their minds when they saw Miley dancing on the catwalk, wearing a flesh-colored bikini while twerking against Robin, who was decked out in a Beetlejuice-inspired striped suit. The bizarre performance also included giant teddy bears, lasers, and a foam finger, so it's no surprise that it went down as one of the most controversial in history, shocking viewers and changing the course of both of their careers. After the provocative performance, Robin walked away pretty much unscathed and decided to play dumb about the whole thing, while Miley was left with the extreme backlash and feeling exploited. Years later, looking back at that moment, she said, "Not only was culture changed, but my life and career were changed forever. It inspired me to use my platform for something much bigger." Number 9, Lil Mama. As Jay-Z and Alicia Keys brought their performance of Empire State of Mind to a close, Lil Mama decided it was a good time to jump on stage, and she tried to crash the performance, something which she later said ruined her career. Reflecting back on the moment in 2015, she told Complex, "It hurt. It took a lot of mental strength, spiritual strength, and physical strength not to want to hurt others, not to want to hurt myself. A lot of people felt like they didn't want to take a chance on me with certain things because it might have made Jay-Z or Alicia Keys not want to work with them." But for Alicia's part, the Girl on Fire singer revealed that she doesn't have any hard feelings about the moment at all. In fact, she said she had no recollection of Lil Mama crashing the stage. Quote, "Basically, I remember absolutely nothing. I think I was so focused on performing, because when you perform, it's a lot. You gotta hit it, you gotta nail it, you gotta kill it. It has to be perfect. When I tell you 100%, I was oblivious to the idea that next to him was another person, which kind of scared the S out of me later when I figured it out." So basically, she didn't even realize anyone had crashed the stage because of all the adrenaline from performing. Number 8, Fifth Harmony. The group kicked off their performance at the 2017 VMAs with a major statement and decided to throw some major shade while they were at it. So what happened? Well, Ali, Normani, Dina, and Lauren took the stage alongside a stand-in for an ex-group member who was none other than Camila Cabello. As the performance starts, the 5th member gets literally yanked off stage. The whole thing was so in your face that naturally, fans assumed it was meant to represent the exit of Camila, who left the group in 2016 due to creative differences. or basically just to pursue a solo career. But it wasn't until after the show that the foursome stopped by Good Morning America to set the record straight. Dina said, "We get asked all the time if we're getting a fifth member, and we wanted to show the world in an artistic way that the four of us are fifth harmony, and we're stronger and better than we've ever been." She added that the performance was a monumental moment for the group and made it clear that she wanted fans to stop pressuring them to get a fifth member, which is completely understandable, but at that point they should have just considered calling it fourth harmony. Number 7. Lady Gaga. Everyone remembers a shocking moment when Lady Gaga pulled up to the red carpet of the 2010 VMAs in a literal meat dress. And if you're wondering, yes, the meat was real. In fact, it was a mix of steak and prime rib along with a matching purse and shoes. But apart from being pretty grotesque, the dress was initially so controversial because a lot of fans interpreted it as a message against animal rights, and just another way to shame vegans. So Lady Gaga took to the Ellen Show to clear up the meaning behind the dress. She explained that the meat dress was tied to her protest against the military's "don't ask, don't tell" policy, and was a statement against the governmental restrictions placed on the rights of gay soldiers. Quote, "It's certainly no disrespect to anyone that's vegan or vegetarian, as you know. I'm the most judgment-free human being on the earth. It has many interpretations. But for me, this evening, it's saying if we don't stand up for what we believe in, if we don't stand up and fight for our rights, pretty soon we're going to have as much rights as the meat on our bones." It's clear that she really meant it though, because she did walk the red carpet with 4 queer former members of the US military for an added show of support. But in the end, people also thought it was just a waste of meat. Number 6. G-Eazy. When the rapper hit the stage with pop princess Britney Spears at New York City's Madison Square Gardens, the performance had undeniable chemistry. During their sexy number, the pair grinded against one another, and Britney even placed her hand over G-Eazy's crotch at one point. The two of them did seem to be getting close earlier in the night as well, considering the fact that they walked the red carpet holding hands and hugged while posing for photos. But in the end, she just wasn't that into him. Everyone remembers the awkward moment when Britney dodged a kiss from Eazy during their performance of Make Me. So regardless of their flirty interactions, it became clear that she was not about to lock lips with the rapper after he attempted to go in for a kiss moments before he took a bow. In fact, she clearly pushed him away and shook her head saying no when he made his advance. When speaking about her decision later, Britney straight up said he has a girlfriend, and admitted that she was taken aback because the rehearsal didn't include that much touching. Number 5. Nicki Minaj. The onstage spat at the 2015 VMAs between Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus was probably the most shocking and talked about moment of the night. While receiving her award, Nicki took the opportunity to lash out at the host. "Back to this bee who had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?" Miley was taken aback for a second, but she managed to save face and said that interviews get manipulated and congratulated her. Producers were able to censor the curse words, but a beep doesn't really block our lip reading abilities, and it's clear that Nicki dropped a few more F-bombs while Miley continued talking. Nicki later told New York Magazine about the moment and said, "I saw Miley just looking at me with her face screwed up and I thought, what the?" But she also said it was deeper than that. Nicki was upset that the former Disney Channel star was using black culture as a means to reinvent herself and shed her good girl persona, while at the same time being ignorant about the issues facing that community. She did have a point because Miley has since ditched hip-hop in favor of rock, which we all agree suits her a lot better. Number 4. Katy Perry. There have been many memorable moments from the MTV Video Music Awards, but while making this list, it was pretty hard to ignore the disaster that was Katy Perry and Riff Raff's 2014 VMA matching outfit. As a part of a publicity stunt, the unlikely pair, who had just collaborated on Katy's song This Is How We Do, wore matching denim outfits that were definitely a tribute to the 90s pop power couple Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. In fact, if you look closely, the styles of the clothes themselves are almost an exact replica, so it wasn't really an original move. Other than the fact that their outfits were all denim, Katy's dress had all the key distinct features of Britney's dress. Both dresses had a sweetheart cut and were made with a mix of light and dark wash denim. Both accessorized their outfits with a small rounded handbag and a western style belt, and a sparkly choker. Not only that, but Riff Raff's two-piece denim suit had the same collar cut and chevron shaped design on the chest pocket that Justin's two-piece had. Although the rapper wasn't wearing a denim cowboy hat, he wore a similarly shaped pair of sunglasses. And the cherry on top was that Katie and Riff were smiling and posing as if they were dating, just like the couple that they were copying. Number 3. Madonna. Anyone who didn't live under a rock knows where they were the night that Madonna shared her infamous onstage kiss with Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, live at the 2003 VMAs. It was perhaps one of the most famous moments of controversy, and Madonna's second major unscripted moment at the MTV VMAs. She performed Like a Virgin in front of a wedding chapel on stage, where she then kissed Britney Spears full on the mouth and then Christina Aguilera right after that. The camera then cuts to Justin Timberlake's stern expression, which is hilarious because he was dating Britney at the time. So the whole thing was pretty awkward and clearly a publicity stunt with some in-your-face queerbaiting. But the double kiss eventually became Madonna's most notorious performance of all time, and it's clear that she's always been pushing the envelope when it comes to displaying her sexuality. It's just another reason she's been able to maintain her icon status for so long. Interestingly enough, in an interview about the VMAs several years later, she actually said she wouldn't kiss Britney again, leading many to question what really happened between the two of them. Number 2. Rage Against the Machine. It was the year 2000 and the band had just lost to Limp Bizkit for Best Rock Video of the Year at the VMAs. The band was pretty disappointed, but no one more than the group's bassist Tim Comerford. In an act of protest, he decided to interrupt Fred Durst's acceptance speech by climbing the structure on the award show stage. The climb visibly shocked everyone in attendance, and the police were even called to ensure the rocker got down. He was eventually arrested by police and had to spend a night in jail. In an interview years later, Tim explained his reaction, saying, "We were up against Limp Bizkit, one of the dumbest bands in the history of music, and I'm sitting there with Michael and I'm like, hey man, if that camera doesn't come over here, I'm climbing up that structure and I'm gonna sit there like an effing gargoyle and throw a wrench in this show." And he's like, "Tim, follow your heart." But there was clearly chaos within the band itself, as only a month after the VMAs, Zach De La Rocha announced his departure from the band, which marked the end of Rage Against the Machine for a long time, with the group only reuniting in 2007 and performing occasionally throughout 2011. And coming in at number 1, Kanye West. More than a decade ago, there came a VMAs moment that will live forever in infamy. It was a moment in which Kanye West stormed the VMAs stage as Taylor Swift attempted to accept her award for Best Video by a Female Artist. He declared that Beyoncé is the rightful recipient of the Video of the Year award and said, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you and I'ma let you finish, but Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time." It seemed like a harmless stunt brought about by a little liquid courage, considering that Kanye arrived on the red carpet that night clutching a bottle of Hennessy, and reportedly passed the bottle around to fellow celebrities as he waited for the show to start. But the resulting fallout from that moment was explosive. What happened at the 2009 VMAs helped define Twitter as the conversation driver it is today. In fact, the story foreshadowed Kanye West's eventual transformation into a pop culture villain, and also set the narrative that Taylor Swift would always be a pop culture victim, considering that she was only 19 at the time and reportedly cried backstage after the incident, before she had to go back on stage and perform. The moment not only became the face of 1,000 memes, but incited one of the biggest pop feuds of the 21st century. Number 10. Andy Samberg. While hosting the 67th annual Primetime Emmy Awards, comedian Andy Samberg made some viewers extremely happy while making HBO very mad. In response to HBO's CEO Richard Plepler saying that he didn't care if subscribers shared their login info with friends and family, Andy went on stage and announced his username and password for his HBO account on live TV. While some might have thought that he was only joking, fans realized that they were actually able to get into his account and watch all of the Game of Thrones episodes. As for the network, they tried to play it cool, but they were obviously panicking because suddenly millions of people have access to one account. On their official Twitter account, they wrote, "Lucky for you, Andy Samberg is a very generous Emmys host." But the catch is that the login details only worked for a day before they decided to shut down the account. Surely they can't hate on Andy though, because that was hilarious. If you're loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 9. Jimmy Kimmel. Not everyone was laughing as Jimmy Kimmel stayed committed to his 2022 Emmys bit during Quinta Brunson's acceptance speech. As presenters of Best Writing in a Comedy Series, Will Arnett dragged a seemingly passed out Jimmy Kimmel onto the stage, telling telling the crowd that this is the 13th time in a row that he's lost and he's just got into the skinny margaritas back there. It was kind of funny at first, but when Quinta took the stage to accept the prize for her series Abbott Elementary, which was her first ever Emmy, Jimmy remained passed out on the stage. Will tried to push him out of the way to make room for her, but he just gave him a thumbs up and kept lying there. It wasn't until after the heartfelt speech was done that Jimmy finally got dragged back off stage. A lot of people who know Quinta from BuzzFeed felt that the whole thing was incredibly disrespectful, considering that winning this award was a huge moment for her and a chance to celebrate how far she has come in her career. So it shouldn't have been about Jimmy Kimmel at all. Number 8. Heidi Klum. 2008 was the year the Emmys were hosted by a panel of reality TV stars, including Heidi Klum and Tom Bergeron, as well as Howie Mandel and Ryan Seacrest, who all happened to be nominated for an Emmy in the newest award category at the time, Best Reality Host. During an unrehearsed skit, Heidi pretended to swoon and fall into her co-host's arms. The only problem was that Tom decided to drop her, which caused her to hit the ground really hard. No one really knew exactly how to react, but it was clear that she was actually in pain. After the show, Heidi went backstage and lifted her blue dress to show a big bruise on her butt from the accidental fall. She didn't take home any awards that night, but she got a painful black and blue mark on her backside as a reminder of the night. Number 7. Scott Frank. Okay, it's safe to say that we all loved The Queen's Gambit, but its creator Scott Frank had one of the most cringiest moments at the 2021 Emmy Awards. You'd think that a seasoned industry pro would know basic award show etiquette, like when the music starts playing, you wrap up your speech. Going a little over is one thing, but he decided to go way over the time limit in his acceptance speech. When the music first started playing, he was in major denial and he just said, "No, really? No, seriously, stop the music." Scott went on for what felt like a lifetime, reading a laundry list of thank yous while almost shouting on top of the music. It's true that not everyone can pick up social cues or read the room, but in his case he was literally ignoring the giant red sign at the back of the room that said stop. Of course he deserved the win, but he also put the audience through a whole lot of awkwardness when he overstayed his welcome on stage. Number 6. Bruce Rosenblum. After introducing TV Academy CEO Bruce Rosenblum during the 66th annual Primetime Emmys in 2014, Sofia Vergara was asked to stand on a revolving platform while Bruce spoke about the Academy's innovation and dedication to diversity, saying, "What truly matters is that we never forget that our success is based on always giving the viewers something compelling to look at," while he had Sofia on the stage looking glamorous and literally spinning around. The skit was intended to be funny, but a whole lot of people found it to be pretty sexist instead. Twitter users were quick to point out that the objectification of Sofia was especially crude, given that the Academy had only awarded a Latina actress twice in its history. Amid the controversy, Sofia did come out defending the joke and said that somebody can be hot and also be funny and make fun of herself. Number 5. Jerry Harris. At the 2020 Primetime Emmy Awards, Netflix earned its first accolade in the unstructured reality category for Cheer. The moment should have been totally celebratory for the production company and the Navarro College Bulldog cheerleaders who appeared on the documentary series, except for the fact that they won just 24 hours after Jerry Harris was charged with sex crimes involving underage people. To make matters worse, the cheerleading documentary was super popular and successful upon its release. Now the amazing series has been completely overshadowed by the disturbing criminal activities of its breakout star. In fact, a federal judge has since sentenced Jerry to 12 years in prison for coercing teenage boys to send him obscene photos and videos of themselves. It was a really bad look for the Emmys to even have him on in the first place, but apparently the voting had already closed long before Jerry's arrest. Number 4. Bryan Cranston. The audience watched in shock as Julia Louis-Dreyfus walked towards the stage to accept her award for Best Lead Actress in a Comedy for her work on Veep, when Bryan Cranston jumped in front of her, grabbed her, and passionately kissed her. For viewers who were just tuning in, the kiss might have seemed like an unwanted advance, but audience members felt that they were a little more in on the joke, considering that earlier when Julia and Bryan presented the award for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy, she joked that he looked oddly similar to an actor that she'd worked with on Seinfeld, which made Bryan remind her that yes, he was the very same actor and the two of them had even shared an on-screen kiss. Julia ignored him and continued presenting the award, so Bryan decided the only way to truly jog her memory was to reenact the kiss as she walked towards the stage. It wasn't all that bad if they were both truly in on it, but it was definitely a bit of a grey area considering that Julia did seem genuinely caught off guard. Number 3. Kirstie Alley. It was the 43rd Emmy Award show in 1991 when actress Kirstie Alley won for Best Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. While giving her acceptance speech, Kirstie decided to to overshare big time, and thanked her husband at the time, Parker Stevenson. She called him the man who has given me the big one for the past 8 years. What made this especially uncomfortable was the fact that in the early 90s, using sexual euphemisms, especially on live TV, was still considered quite taboo. Not to mention the person that presented the award to her was none other than 11-year-old Macaulay Culkin, who must have felt really uncomfortable standing on stage after that. A lot of people made fun of the awkward moment, with actor Burt Reynolds getting up on stage later that night and thanking his wife Loni Anderson for giving him 2 big ones, which everyone thought was hilarious. Number 2, Allison Janney. It was 2004 and the actress was accepting her award for lead actress in a drama. Allison got up on stage and claimed that she spoke to Mariska Hargitay from SVU, who was also nominated that night, and said that she promised to give her the Emmy if she won. Once she got up on stage though, she realized how silly that would be in the moment, but asked Mariska to come up on stage with her anyway. The cameras cut to the Law & Order actress, who seemed super confused and clearly didn't think that she was serious, but she still got out of her seat only to stand awkwardly on the side of the stage while Allison finished her speech. And if you thought that couldn't get any more uncomfortable, she asked Eddie Falco and the rest of the nominees if they would join her on stage too, but everyone just kinda stayed in their seats. Allison certainly gets points for humility, but she clearly did not think that one through. I mean, who would want to stand up on stage doing nothing while she continued her speech? At least Mariska was a good sport about it. And coming in at number 1, Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, Jimmy makes this list again. This time it was because his joke not only flopped, but it backfired on him. The 2020 Emmy Awards were pretty awkward overall, because no one really knew what they were doing, since it was one of the first major award shows to be held in the midst of a pandemic. But things got very uncomfortable when Jimmy made a joke about how he was going to report John Oliver to ICE, which, if you don't know, is the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He said this because John Oliver's show Last Week Tonight beat Jimmy Kimmel Live in the category of an outstanding talk series. Of course, with a risky joke like that, the internet certainly had some thoughts about it, with Twitter practically imploding with backlash, criticizing Jimmy for his ignorant display of privilege and calling his comments tone-deaf and insensitive, especially at a time when there was a lot of tension surrounding immigration enforcement agents' behavior. So yeah, whoever told him that was a great idea should have probably handed in their resignation.
Number 10, the cockroach. The unexpected star of the night was oddly enough a cockroach, which found its way into the star-studded night. Not only did the little bug get to walk the red carpet, but it also got its own photographer. The cockroach snuck into the event without a $30,000 ticket and completely stole the show. In a clip that is now viral on Twitter, it shows the cockroach scurrying away from a photographer and really seemed to push its luck. Fans watched from the side, and it wasn't long before the whole thing became a meme. On Twitter, a user wrote, "Who was it wearing?" and another added, "I'm rooting for the roach." Some Twitter users took a different approach and compared the bug to other celebrities. One wrote, "Are you sure this isn't Anna Wintour?" And another added, "Kanye really went all out this year," with one Twitter user even suggesting that the bug could be Karl Lagerfeld reincarnated and attending the event that is in his honor. Number 9, we have Jared Leto as a cat. Jared Leto is an icon when it comes to the out-of-the-box ideas for his Met Gala looks, and this year did not disappoint. The star rolled up in a full-on life-size cat costume, and it was definitely a shock and surprise to onlookers. With no one really knowing who it was at first, he took to the red carpet, honestly looking pretty adorable. The look was for the late fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld's cat, who he famously loved. Reportedly, Karl loved the cat so much that he is rumored to have left his whole fortune to it, which is approximately $300 million. As Jared, as the cat, took to the red carpet, he waved to the cameras with his paws and then removed his cat head to reveal who he was, which fans and his fellow celebrities really did love. Fans took to Twitter, with one user writing, "Of course it had to be Jared Leto," and another added, "Honestly, Jared Leto under the cat suit was the most logical answer." When asked why the cat, Jared told Entertainment Tonight, "I knew Karl. He was always such a kind man to me. I could just imagine him looking down with a big smile on his face, seeing his choupette in all its glory." Jared really was trying to channel his inner Karl and love for his cat, as he is set up to play Karl in an upcoming biopic. When talking about the biopic, he shared, I feel like this is a full circle moment, and Carl will be proud of what we're doing. Going on to say, Carl was an artist, period. He was a fashion designer, he was a photographer, there was no defining him. He was a creative powerhouse. After that loving tribute that really made the crowd laugh though, it looks like not only could he play Carl in the film, but also Choupette. Number 8, we have Doja Cat vaping. Another star who decided to channel Carl's cat was Doja Cat. But not only that, but as dressed as a cat, she was caught vaping, and fans were honestly pretty shocked. This was Doja's first appearance at the Met Gala, and though most stars are typically on their best behavior, the rapper didn't really seem to care. There are certain rules in the Met Gala that Anna Wintour really stands by, and one of those rules are no selfies and no smoking. The no smoking rule was added in 2017 after Bella Hadid, Dakota Johnson, and Marc Jacobs were all spotted smoking in the bathroom, and had to be reminded of the rule of no smoking in a museum. Looks like Doja Cat really didn't get the memo though. While some loved that she looked so comfortable and relatable, others speculated that this would be her first and last Met Gala appearance because of this. One Twitter user wrote, "I feel like Doja knows she's on camera and is aware of people picking up on what she's doing. I don't think it's funny." Another added, "Okay, not to be a hater, but can't people just leave the vape at home? At least for like a couple hours. Or at least until you get home." Doja Cat has yet to say anything about getting caught vaping, but fans aren't too happy. What do you guys think about this Doja Cat moment? Number 7, acting like a cat. Okay, so not only was Doja dressed as a cat with prosthetic makeup to even achieve the look, but she also acted like one too. Emma Chamberlain really embodied the word patience when she interviewed the rapper for Vogue on the red carpet. Doja took a pretty interesting approach and began embodying a cat during the whole of the interview. When Emma asked her about her look for the event, Doja responded by just saying meow. Emma didn't give up though and replied by saying, "Wow, okay, so something a little different? So what was your inspiration for tonight? Be honest with me, go into detail." Doja didn't stop though and kept meowing. As Emma kept trying with different questions, Doja kept up the cat persona and meowed to the Vogue reporter. It wasn't long before Emma ended up just laughing a bit before covering her mouth, and honestly fair enough. At number 6, we have Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson reunite. The couple that no one saw coming and that many were actually pretty sad that ended is Kim and Pete. The former couple ended up reuniting at the gala and looked to have a pretty lively conversation with Usher joining in. The trio was caught by photographers and the whole thing seemed pretty amicable. Pete and Kim both broke it off after 9 months together in August, and they actually went together to the Met Gala just last year. So all eyes were on them at the big event as they reunited at the star-studded Met Gala. Though some fans are convinced that the pair are just friends, others are saying that the 2022 vibes are very real. One photo captured from the night shows Pete lovingly looking at Kim. Could there be a possible rekindling in their relationship? Though the SNL star is said to be dating Chase Wonders at the moment, it won't stop some fans from hoping. Number 6, no Blake Lively. Where was the queen of the Met last night? Looks like the star snubbed the event to the disappointment of her fans. Blake, who is now a mother of 4, seemed to just be a bit too busy this year to attend the event that she really is the best at. At the reopening of the Tiffany & Co. 5th Avenue, New York City, Blake was asked if we'll see her at this year's gala. She answered by saying, "You will not, but I will be watching." The reporters went on to compliment her previous looks, to what she responded by saying, "Thank you, that's very sweet, I'll be wearing that on my couch on Monday." This was truly the worst news to Blake's fans, who always look out for the star and her husband, who steal the show year after year. But with parenting and supporting Ryan Reynolds' soccer team, which he co-owns, it looks like the couple was far too busy to make it. Number 4, Rihanna running late. Another true icon of the Met is Rihanna herself. You can always count on Rihanna to bring it year after year, but this year she left fans and spectators wondering where she was. With even the cockroach arriving first, it made other onlookers nervous as to if she was going to be a no-show. But the star made it and arrived fashionably late. About 4 hours after the red carpet walks really started, Rihanna and her partner A$AP Rocky made their long-anticipated appearance, and it really was a dramatic one. The star wore a massive white gown with a dramatic hood covered with camellia blossoms, which is part of Chanel's signature flower. Not only that, but she paid respects to Carl's beloved cat as well and wore a pair of white cat eye sunglasses, which were embellished with fake eyelashes. Really, the whole thing was pretty iconic, even if she did fail to walk on the red carpet at all. Number 3, we have Olivia and Margaret matching. Guess Olivia Wilde and Margaret Sang really had the same idea last night in terms of outfits, and it really was a red carpet nightmare. Olivia was spotted wearing the same dress last night as Margaret, the editor-in-chief of Vogue China, and Twitter lost it. Of course, the women both thought their choice was going to be a unique one. They both decided to wear a vintage-inspired Chloe dress, which is based on 1983 Karl Lagerfeld, and they ended up twinning. Olivia opted for a long white version of the dress with side cutouts, a turtleneck neckline, and a gold embellishment in the front, and Margaret wore the exact same thing but in black. As photos and clips started to emerge of the ladies on the red carpet, one Twitter user wrote, "The biggest yikes ever." Another added, "Oof, everybody's worst fears." Unfortunately for the stars, it really only got worse when social media users began turning this embarrassing moment into a meme. Do you remember when the photo of the dress was going around with everyone questioning, is it blue and black or is it white and gold? Well, with Margaret's iconic blue hair, people saw them as radiating the same energy. We have to ask, who do you think wore it best? Number 2, the side-eye. Okay, so it was a pretty quick moment, but it still made fans laugh that it was even caught on camera at all. Cardi B, who stuck with this year's theme, really killed it on the red carpet. In her first look, she channeled Carl and wore a gown with large camellia flowers. When talking about her outfit, she said, "The texture of this skirt is like a Chanel boy bag. Then you got the flowers, the camellia flower." Going on to say, when you get a Chanel purse, it always has a little white flower. But you know, this one is black. Then on top here, it's giving Carl, so I'm representing the house of Chanel and Carl at the same time. Her next look was a bejeweled pink dress with a matching tulle headpiece, which was really the biggest look of her night. But during another interview with Vogue, she appeared to be a little over it. While holding up the microphone, she takes a look at the Vogue reporter, then looks back at the camera, looking to give a little bit of a side eye. Who really knows why, but regardless, it was still a funny moment to be caught on camera. And finally, at number 1, we have forgetting names. Aubrey Plaza really knows how to grab the audience attention, and the Met Gala was no exception. The White Lotus star wore a tight-fit Stella McCartney gown on the red carpet, along with some dangling earrings and an over-the-elbow black gloves. The whole thing was really pretty elegant and right on theme. But after an incredibly awkward interview, the cringiness seemed to steal the show. During an interview with Stella McCartney and Madeline Klein, the interviewer Chloe Feynman clearly didn't know who Aubrey Plaza was. Chloe introduces the woman, and when she gets to Aubrey, she calls her Audrey and passes her the microphone to say her last name. Aubrey ends up saying Snupburn flatly, which is an Audrey Hepburn reference. It really only gets more awkward from there though. After Chloe goes on with the interview, asking Aubrey what she's wearing, she ends up unfortunately mispronouncing Stella's last name. Chloe starts to laugh at her mistake before Stella ends up leaning in and saying, "Are you even taking this seriously?" To which Chloe responds by, "I am." Stella then says, "I don't think you are." Chloe stops laughing and says, "No, I am, I'm sorry." While all this is happening, Aubrey shakes her shoulders and is smiling, looking to kind of love the whole awkward moment. As the clip is circulating Twitter, one user wrote, "This was so uncomfortable for no reason." Others just commented how their secondhand embarrassment really just can't handle it, and I have to agree. Another added, "Wait, what? Who doesn't know who Aubrey is? Please be serious." If you haven't seen this very uncomfortable moment, please do and let us know what you thought about this whole thing.
Number 10, Clive Anderson. It's important to note that while all late night hosts do work hard to remember what projects every single one of their guests is promoting, they can easily get mixed up from time to time, and that's exactly what brought forth one of the most awkward encounters in UK TV history. When the Bee Gees appeared on Clive Anderson's All Talk in 1997, they grew so tired of his continuous jokes about their music that they infamously just got up and walked off set. As a poor attempt at humor, the host made remarks about the group's appearance and said that he thought the band were sisters rather than brothers, and that only his dog loves their high-pitched music. But the big turning point came when Anderson said that the band will always be Les Tossers to me, and you could literally see Barry Gibb's face begin to darken. To make matters worse, when the singer tried to talk about a song that he had written earlier in his career, saying he had forgotten that one. Clearly not loving the atmosphere, Barry became sarcastic and said, "We're getting on like a storm, aren't we, Clive?" before getting up on his feet and cursing at the host. He got up and left, and after even more awkwardness, the other two eventually did the same. Number 9, Katie Couric. In 2014, the television personality invited trans model Carmen Carrera to appear on her talk show Katie. After Carmen discussed her modeling career, Corey began asking her really invasive questions about her transition, like, was the whole process painful physically for you? And your private parts are different now, aren't they? As the questions were becoming increasingly personal and insensitive, Carmen finally decided to say something. Quote, I don't want to talk about it because it's really personal. I'd rather talk about my modeling stuff. I'd rather talk about being in W and maybe being in Italian Vogue and doing fun stuff and showing people that after the transition, there's still life to live. It was actually a great opportunity for Carmen to demonstrate that she is more than her transition and that being trans is not the most interesting thing about her. For her part, Corey received some pretty intense backlash for her line of questioning, especially when Orange is the New Black star Laverne Cox appeared on the show and told the host that she was objectifying Carmen. It wasn't until 2017 that Corey revealed that she had the opportunity to cut the segment out of the interview altogether, but decided to keep it in as an educational moment for her audience. So she definitely learned something from the experience. Number 8. Jessica Simpson. Of all the celebrity talk show fails, this one is easily one of the messiest and the hardest to watch. When the singer appeared on the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2017, it quickly became clear that she had had one too many. Jessica slurred her words and fumbled over a range of topics, including the length of her marriage to Eric Johnson, which she said she couldn't remember, and then started talking about contraception, saying, we got an IUD, nothing's going to get into that uterus. And when Ellen asked her about whether she was expanding her billion-dollar business, Jessica started rambling about vitamins and B12 energy. When asked if she's making more music, she claimed that she is, but she struggled to remember just how many songs she actually has. Quote, I probably have about 38 or maybe 36 or 39, and Ellen said bluntly, you don't have 38 songs. It really wasn't until 2020 that the singer addressed the incident in her tell-all memoir called Open Book, when she admitted to having drank before going on air. She claims that she's still so embarrassed by her behavior that she can't bring herself to watch the interview almost 3 years later because it was a weak moment for her and she said she wasn't in the right place. But in recent years, she seems to be doing a whole lot better. Number 7. Harry Belafonte. This one is truly hilarious. The singer appeared on Eyewitness News to promote a documentary made about himself named Sing Your Song. But what viewers got out of the interview was a laugh, all because Harry was fast asleep when the anchor tried to speak with him. Eventually, the newscaster Layla Santiago ended up shouting at him, saying, this is your wake-up call. He's meditating, he's taking a little nap, which caused all 3 newscasters on the show to erupt in laughter. His publicist later told the station that it was a technical glitch and that his earpiece wasn't working, so he decided to take the time to meditate before the interview. His publicist added that Mr. Belafonte is 84 years young, but sharper and more awake than most who have been interviewing him. Maybe the world would be a better place if more people took a moment to meditate. But in Belafonte's defense, it was probably pretty early in the morning during a time of filming. Whatever happened, the clip, which was from 10 years ago, only recently went viral after it was used to create a deepfake footage of President Biden dozing off while being live on air. Number 6. Dua Lipa. At first, the interview seemed to be going really well until some awkward questions were asked by Dua Lipa that made everyone watching pretty uncomfortable. During an episode of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Dua was guest hosting and she accidentally referred to Gwen Stefani's partner at the time, Blake Shelton, as her husband when they were not married. She started off the friendly conversation by saying, so I heard that you've been spending quarantine with your husband Blake Shelton at the ranch in Oklahoma. Who else was with you? How was that? But after a little silence, Gwen just replied by saying, well, he's not my husband. But that sounded cool when you said that. But what really fixed this moment is the fact that after 5 years together, Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton did go on to get married. What's even funnier is that she posted about the engagement on Instagram, and Dua Lipa actually commented on the news by referencing the cringy moment and wrote, I guess our little interview aged well. Congratulations, best news. But whether or not Jimmy Fallon regretted having her on as a guest judge is something that still remains to be seen. Number 5. Katy Perry. Katy Perry's 2017 interview with Ellen DeGeneres is a disaster from start to finish, and they're both partially to blame, although for different reasons. Things grew awkward really fast when Ellen forgot that Katy had once been married to Russell Brand. During a game of Will You Parry Me, a game where the singer was asked which celebrity crush she found more attractive, Katy said, do I have to get married again? After a pause, Ellen looked genuinely confused and she just said, you are not married? To which Katy said, I was, when I was 25. Remember you gave me some wedding gifts on the show? When the moment was becoming a little too embarrassing for the singer, she began making scissor motions, telling Ellen to cut this part of the interview out. But it only got worse from then on as Ellen launched into the game, which made a slightly unhinged Katy Katie pick between Harry Styles, Chris Martin, and Leonardo DiCaprio. But she got a little too honest and said, "What if I've already kissed a bunch of these people?" The whole episode led to speculations that Katie was tipsy during filming, but we'll never really know the truth. Number 4. Kourtney Kardashian. For the Keeping Up with the Kardashian star, one of the biggest live TV fails came with her interview in 2016, just weeks after Kim Kardashian's horrific Paris robbery ordeal. Shortly afterwards, Kourtney appeared on Australian program The Today Show to talk about her latest project, before the hosts attempted to turn the conversation towards Kim. Quote, "We're very sympathetic and horrified, so we were wondering, how is everyone going? How is Kim doing?" Kourtney looked really frustrated and just said, before looking at somebody else in the room, most likely her publicist. An awkward silence ensued as her whole face went blank and she looked beyond the camera, muttering something under her breath about having someone come in. The presenters were confused as well, before they realized what was going on. David Campbell asked, "Hello, Kourtney, have we lost you?" Before the silence became unbearable and Kardashian's face disappeared off screen. The host became frustrated at the response and insisted that Kourtney should have just said that her sister was fine. To this day, her response has fans divided over whether or not it was even appropriate. Number 3. Ellen DeGeneres. Celine Dion was not the least bit amused when she went on The Ellen Show in 2007 and got criticized for the fact that her son had long hair. Trying to be funny, Ellen outright told Celine that she was forgetting to cut her son's hair, then showed a photo of the cute little boy with shoulder-length hair. The issue is that Celine has probably gotten that same line from countless other people and was very tired of hearing about it. Ellen did not expect her to take the question to heart the way she did, and suddenly the tension in the room was so thick that you could cut it with a knife. Celine then began defending the length of her child's hair, asking Ellen if she had a problem with it. Quote, "Some people shave the head of their children and people say, 'Oh, isn't that terrible?' Well, I don't even cut my son's hair and they say, 'Oh my gosh, when is she going to cut her son's hair, you know? Whatever I do, I won't please anyone.'" She then explained that it was her son who made his own decision to keep his hair long, but Ellen had already sensed that she had made a mistake and swiftly changed the topic to Celine's music career after the uncomfortable moment. Number 2. David Letterman. Even though Lindsay Lohan visited The Late Show in 2013 with the intention of promoting Scary Movie 5, David Letterman spent the majority of the interview talking about the star's forthcoming return to rehab. This one was really bad because as soon as she sat down, Letterman said the actress looked remarkably well in a condescending tone. He then began asking invasive questions about whether or not Lohan steals things and manages her money responsibly. Despite all of her attempts to change the topic of conversation, the host kept going back to the question of rehab, like when was she gonna go, why was she going, and how long she planned to stay there. Eventually, the actress became frustrated and just said that they didn't discuss this in the pre-interview, while asking Letterman to focus on the positive. But even though she was clearly uncomfortable, he once again brought it up, and so by the end of the conversation, Lohan was literally in tears. The interview resurfaced online last year and has since sparked a wave of backlash against the veteran talk show host, who, in all fairness, has a pretty problematic history when it comes to making women uncomfortable on his show. Number 1. Cardi B. This one really takes the cake. On the after show of Love and Hip Hop New York, host Nina Parker asked cast member Asia Davies a question about her relationship with fellow co-star and ex-Swift, but before Asia could respond, Cardi sent a heel flying in Asia's direction, a signature move that we all know way too well. Cardi then demanded that Asia admit that she had an issue with her. Quote, "You judged me because I was a stripper, say the truth." It was immediately clear why the two had been positioned so far away. After trash talking her for a little bit, the artist was ready to throw down again with Asia. In fact, Cardi needed a whole team to keep her from laying hands on her rival. But the rapper may have been right in the situation because Swift admitted that Asia did not respect Cardi because of her past. He allegedly had to explain to her several times that she was no longer a stripper, and she's moved on from that and is making music now. So when Asia refused to answer the question about why she didn't give Cardi a chance, her rival went into full attack mode. And what ensued is the televised disaster that you can still watch to this day.